Welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I'm Danielle DeTeach, or Coach Danny D, and I help women to create luxury brands by creating processes and tightening their branding. This is where we talk about how to build your business in a way that allows you to work with ease and enjoy your life. My happy space is spending as much time as humanly possible in my pajamas, and I want to help others to find their happy space while still running profitable businesses. So get comfortable and let's dig in. Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of the Profits in Pajamas podcast. So, today we're going to be talking about 3 things that you should focus on in your business so that you can profit with ease. So, I am Coach Danny D, or otherwise known as Danielle DeTeach, and I am the owner of Workflow. And Workflow is a business where I teach people how to unlock their luxury brands by building up their branding, identifying their ideal client, and by tightening their systems and their processes. So, I want to dig into the 3 things that you should focus on to profit with ease. And this particular topic is very interesting. So I came across this topic. I had something else planned for this week, but I just came back from a trip to Jamaica. And while I was there, I was talking to my photographer about his plans for his business. And I was just sharing with him a couple of tips. And I said, well, you know what? This would be great to share with my audience because these are some things, a lot of people don't know how they can enter into this, profits and pajamas lifestyle. These are some ways that you can get started. So the first thing is to really know your clients. I know that, people say that a lot. I know that a lot of times people, will say, who's your target audience? Who's your ideal client? And most times we have a very superficial idea of who that person is. Sometimes it'll be referred to as your avatar as well. So those are all the same thing. But a lot of times we'll have a superficial idea of who that is. Most times when I ask people, who's your ideal client? They'll say corporate, clients that have money. What does that mean exactly? What does that mean down to being able to clearly see a person when you think about your client? When you think about your client, you should be able to see a character just like you see someone on TV. That's how specific that you should get. So, understanding your target client, understanding who your ideal client is, and having branding that corresponds with knowing your ideal client, because if you created your branding without knowing your ideal client, then you need to revisit it once you realize who that ideal client is to make sure that that branding is on par with what your client is looking for. Because, basically, if you set a table for, yourself or for who you thought the client was, and now you realize that it's a different person, well, now this person is sitting at the table and feeling like they don't belong here, that this is not a table made for them. So the reason why I say that this is so important for being able to profit with ease is the more that you know your client, the more that your branding and your messaging reflect that you know your client, the more that your branding is doing the work for you. So when your branding is on par, it does a lot of the work for you, which makes it, less that you have to do to get your client to go from a looker to a buyer. So for example, we all have seen an ad or seen an image that just drew our attention, that automatically we connected with that imaging. And once you have made that connection and everything in that company's brand keeps speaking to you as a consumer, then when you walk into the doors of that business or when you go to purchase from that business, you already feel comfortable. You already feel at ease. You already feel like this is the right decision. When your branding is not where it needs to be, what ends up happening is now people are thinking too much in the process. So they're like, well, are they really going to meet my needs? Is this really going to work out? Are we going to be a match? So I'll give an example. Like a lot of times I'll get recommendations for something to try, a business or what have you. And then that business doesn't have a website, and that business doesn't have a social media presence, or it doesn't have all these other things. So now I'm trying to figure out who that business is. I'm trying to figure out, are they legitimate? Or, now I have all these other questions in my head. Am I going to get what I want? Is this going to go properly? Is this price right? Am I getting am I getting my value for my dollar? All of these things come into play when that branding piece is missing. Whereas in situations where the branding is on par, you don't even have any of those thoughts. You just lock into that product. You love that product. You purchase that product and or service. It could be a product or service. And you purchase and you just feel good about it. You felt good about it when you initially contacted them. You felt good about it when you bought it. And then when the services were rendered or when the product was received, you were excited about it because everything about it was in alignment, made sense, and you felt as though that person customized that for you. So that's why, or that's how having your branding and knowledge of your client in place makes makes your profits come with ease, because now you're not having to answer a lot of questions. You're not having to try to persuade people. They are ready, willing, and able. The next thing is having a web presence with SEO. And I'm going to tie social media in there too, as well as having a social media presence. So, again, a lot of times you encounter a business and that business does not have a web presence. I know that we're in the age of social media. I know that social media is important, but don't sleep on web presence. And the pun is intended. All sleep puns are welcome here. Don't sleep on having a web presence, because especially if you're trying to build a luxury brand, because most corporate and high-end clients are going to do a Google search. Most consumers in general, if you're looking for something, people are going to do a Google search. And if you don't have a website, a web presence with a high SEO, then you're not going to come up when they're searching for this new thing or this new, service. That your business is not going to come up. People connect with you on a different level nowadays. People are not just buying, to buy. People buy from brands that they believe in, brand stories that resonate with them. All of that is, usually displayed on your website. And that's where people do further research about you, about your product, about whatever you have going on. So having a web presence is still very important, and making sure that web presence is in alignment with your branding, and that web presence is search engine optimized, SEO, search engine optimized. So you want to make sure that you are doing all the things to make sure that Google is ranking you high. Because the other thing is when people do search, they're most likely not going to go past the first page. And they're most likely not going to go past the, I'm going to say fifth person, fifth listing on there. So you want to make sure that you do have that web presence. It adds a certain level of legitimacy to your business. It, takes you out of the, idea of, are you just you know, just a side hustle? Nothing, not knocking side hustles, but are you just, is this just something somebody's doing as like a little, hobby that kind of puts a little money in their pocket? Or is this a legitimate business that I feel comfortable spending a substantial amount of money with? So your web presence is something that is very important. And again, as far as profiting with ease, your web presence allows you to be connecting with clients even when you're sleeping. So you could be, fast asleep and your clients can interact with your website. If you're selling a product, they can purchase directly from your website. If you are if you have a service-based business, they can still connect with you, book appointments. You can have your scheduler attached to your website. They can book appointments. They can browse your website and learn more about you and your business. And while they're browsing your website and connecting to you, so they have already built a relationship with you prior to even making that first contact. And they're doing all of that on your website. So you're not doing anything. You could be asleep. You could be with your feet up. You could be on the beach, and somebody is building a relationship with your brand via your website. They can contact you, reach out to you, so that you can further service them. All of that while you're doing nothing. So your website is working for you while you're not working. So the third thing that we're going to talk about, as far as um, three things that we are focusing on, that you should focus on to bring profit with ease to your business. So the first one was, your client, knowing your client intimately and having excellent branding that corresponds with your client. Having a website was the second one. So having a web presence so that that website can be working for you when you're not working. And the third one is having systems and automation in place. So, through having systems and automation in place, again, you have something working in the background when you're not working. So, you are able to relax. You're able to do whatever it is you need to do. And while you're doing that, your automations are doing work for you. So, it could be building relationships. You could have your emails automated so that your client is getting nurtured throughout the process while you're off doing something else. Your client is still getting valuable information and getting nurtured. You can have automations that, promote products for you so that your client is getting products and services that they need right to their inbox, with, again, without you doing anything. And that automation not only helps to nurture your client, but it also frees you up, because now those things that you were doing manually for each and every client, those things are now automated. So they just go off without a hitch. So that frees your time. So now you can take that time to either, go out and relax with your family, focus on another area of your business, grow your business in different ways. So now you're working on your business instead of constantly working within your business. Automation can also be a delivery tool for your actual product or service. So you can have it automated to where, if you are doing a course or something like that, you can have everything recorded and things are being dripped through automation. So your client is getting what they need when they need it. And you just had to sit the one time, record whatever you need to record, draft the email, whatever it is. You spend that initial groundwork, and then you have everything set up to where now that 1 hour that you spent on creating this something is going to save you multiple hours per day, per week, per year. That automation also creates just a luxury experience for your client because your client is getting everything that they need. When you don't have automation and you're relying on yourself, and I'm going to, I will speak from experience. When you're relying on yourself, you always have to wonder, did I remember to do this? Did I do that? Did they receive this? Did I address that? You always have to think about that because we're human and we're fallible. And, there are times when we will forget, you may forget to get this one thing done. And most times the time you forget is the time that it was the most important, but you learn those tough lessons. But when you start to automate, then all your clients are getting the exact same quality experience because you create it in a way that's quality so that they get a quality experience on the other side. And that again helps you to profit with ease because now you're creating luxury experiences for your clients. They're feeling nurtured, you're feeling rested. So now you can come in and you can be your best self and serve your company the best and be innovative in your company instead of constantly being chasing things and putting out fires. So now you are creating a situation where they have had a great experience. They're ready to do business with you again because it was so easy. It was so seamless for them that they're excited about doing business with you again. So now you have had a great client experience. It was easy for them to go ahead and process and pay with you. So you have gained that profit. You got a repeat customer now because they love the experience. So now you're profiting off of that more. And happy clients refer people. So these are all ways that you can start to profit with ease so that you can stop having to be, physically involved in every step, part, piece of your business. And you start putting those things together in a way that creates a luxury experience for your client, but also creates time freedom for you. So I hope that these tips were helpful for you of things that you need to focus on. If you're looking for ways to dig into this a little bit deeper, you can always reach out to me at Your Workflow on Instagram, or you can go to my website, coachdannyd.com, and connect because I offer a luxury brand 6 week intensive. And in that luxury brand 6 week intensive, we get to the nuts and bolts of creating a business that is serving a luxury client, giving them that great experience, putting your processes together while also regaining your time freedom. So that's one thing that I would highly recommend if you're looking to create a luxury brand or take your current brand into being a luxury brand. I also work heavily with helping you to build systems and automation so that you are creating that seamless experience for your clients. And, be on the lookout coming out in March. We will roll out a website course as well. So check out the website. Make sure you sign up for our newsletter so that you can stay in the know of what we have going on. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook so that you can keep in the know of different tips as we go along the process. Again, I hope that I helped you to get at least one step closer to your profits in pajama life. I'm signing off and I will see you next week. Thank you for listening to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I hope you got some great tips to start working with ease. Want to stay connected? Follow me at Your Workflow on Instagram. For more information about building your luxury brand, register for my upcoming luxury brand workshop at coachdannyd.com.